everybody! Today we're going to be making cardboard cactuses. So the first thing that we're going to need in order to get started are 2 pieces of blank cardboard. You want to use something that you'll be able to cut out quite easily but that is still fairly robust for your cactus. So something like an old delivery box that's been used to package things in. Once you've decided on your cactus shape, you'll need to draw it out onto your cardboard. I've already done mine and I'm now going to go over that using a black marker pen so it's nice and clear. So once our cactuses have been drawn out, we'll need to add colour to them. So I've mixed up some acrylic paints here in the pot and I'm going to begin colouring them in and then afterwards adding a little bit of detail. So there are lots of different ways that we can add detail to our cactus and it depends on the type of cactus that you're doing. I'm doing one that is going to be quite spiky looking. So what I've done is just cut a little bit of cardboard here and I've folded it into part of a triangle. And what I'm going to do is I've mixed up a little bit of green paint here, a darker shade than what I used before to create a little bit of contrast, and I'm just going to paint the edge of the cardboard so that, as you can see, it makes a V shape, so an incomplete triangle. And then, if I just put my brush down, going to use that very carefully just to create a stamp onto the cactus. And as you can see, we're starting to get these little V shapes appear. I'm going to do those all over the cactus and all over this one too to create that spiky effect. Right, so now that our cactuses are complete, we've added the background colour and we've added our detail, we're going to need to cut them out. So now that our cactuses are cut out, we're going to need to paint them on the reverse side so that they are completely 3D. So at the moment you can see we've got the fronts, but as we're going to be slotting them together, they are going to need the reverse painted. So I'm going to make a start on that and see when we're done. So while our cactus is drying, we're going to need to think about the pot that it's going to go in. I've chosen an old hot chocolate pot from the kitchen, but if you don't have one, you could use a loo roll, a jam jar, a syrup tin. It depends on the shape and size of your cactus. You're then going to need to think what colour you want to paint yours. I'm going to get started painting mine in a nice pastel blue. So now that the paint is dried on our cactus pot, I'm just going to add a few decorative stripes to the outside. I've mixed up a purpley blue and I'm just going to apply that directly onto the pot. So we can now begin piecing together our cactus. So what you're going to need to find is a ruler and a sharp pencil. You're then going to need to draw a line through the middle of your cactus to the halfway point. So I'm just going to show that to you so that you can all see. So I've drawn a straight line through the middle of the cactus to the halfway point. I'm then going to cut that out. It can be tricky to cut through thick cardboard, so do always remember to ask for support at this point. So now that I've cut through the bottom part of the cactus, I'm going to need to do the other piece, that cutting through the top part. So I'm going to draw a line, just as I did before, but from the top to the middle, through the centre of the cactus. I'm then going to cut out along that line. So we should now have something that looks a little bit like this. We can then piece them together. So when you piece together your cactus, you can place the top bit through the bottom and it should look something a little bit like this. There we go. It might need a little bit of adjustment and wiggling about, but that's come together quite nicely. You can see how we now have a 3D cardboard cactus. So once pieced together, we can pop the cactus into the cactus pot that we've made. I'm quite pleased with that. The last thing we need to do is add a little flower to the top of the cactus. So to make the flower for our cactus, you're going to need a piece of paper. Onto the piece of paper you need to paint the front and the back, because remember it's 3D, so we want to have a pretty front and a pretty back. If you don't want to paint the paper, you could use a piece of coloured card. You're then going to need to fold that into quarters. So I'm first going to do that in half, and I'm going to do it once more into quarters. We can now draw our flower onto the card. So I've done mine in pen so that you can all see. When you draw it out, you should have something that looks a little bit like this. So you want the corner of the card in the corner here, and then you can draw the petals around it. You're then going to need to snip into those lines that you've drawn. For a little bit of extra detail, why not add a button to the centre of the flower? I think that brightens it up quite nicely. The last thing that we're going to need to do is attach the flower to the centre of the cactus. And I've just put a little bit of glue here at the top of the cactus in the middle of the cardboard, and that should secure in place nicely. So there we go, our 3D cactus. I hope you've enjoyed today's activity as much as I have, and I look forward to seeing you guys very soon. Bye!